Hey guys, I'm going to share with you the process of getting a professional narration demo made. This is going to be a little bit more lecture-based because there's so much helpful information in terms of perspective to help any voice actors out there who are trying to piece together their journey and figure out what they want to do. Before I move into logistics, I think it's best to give you guys a lay of the land. Now, you can find demo producers all over the place. You can find voiceover coaches all over the place. You can also make your own demo when you're first getting started and you're on a tight budget. However, as you start to move up in the industry, strategy is important. When you start to reach higher levels of the industry that have higher paying jobs, perhaps it's network TV spots, maybe it's movie spots, animations, high-end video games, then relationships become increasingly important. With that in mind, there are coaches and demo producers that are well known and trusted by agents and directors and clients. So, getting into it, my path in this case was I landed a high-profile manager who is well-connected in the industry. This manager recommended various coaches that they know and trust. The coach that I chose is also a high-profile voice actor and doing very well for himself. Therefore, he has a small window in his schedule to take on students. So, he only takes students from referrals that he is familiar with. Hence, he knows my manager and was willing to respond to my email when I reached out to him for coaching. This helps him filter out people who are not ready for this level of the industry. So once a month, we would meet and have a session. We would go through various scripts that he had pulled from his catalog of scripts that he's saved up over the years. He would coach me on the fine details, help me understand how to differentiate different scripts from each other, how to read between the lines to understand what the producer is looking for, and he also helped me develop specific tones for myself for various types of projects. After several months of working with him, we decided that I was ready to be out in the wild, booking narration jobs, and to do that, I needed to have a solid narration demo so I could start basically cold calling and passing myself around and send the demo to my agents so they could start doing that on my behalf as well. He recommended several narration demo producers and specifically recommended one that he thought would be a really good match with me based off of my tones and his writing style and the way that he knows this demo producer edits things together. So what we did was we pulled 6 tones and identified them that I'm very comfortable reading in. That are in all different types of projects in the narration side of the industry, and we tracked them on MP3. Once we tracked that on MP3 and got them just right, then I reached out to the demo producer with these samples so he could immediately hear the level that I'm performing at and the types of reads that I'm doing and the types of gigs that I'm interested in booking. Some scientists even believe that there are similar fragments of genius lurking within us all. Then I sat down with the narration demo producer and we had a call discussing different types of spots in the narration realm that I'm interested in doing, different areas of interest that I have so we could get an idea of perhaps the kinds of stories to write about that would also showcase my personality and show the things that I'm interested in. And we discussed, based off of my tones, the areas of the industry that I'm really best suited for, that I have a higher chance of booking gigs. A couple weeks after our meeting, he sent over about 6 scripts that he wrote up for me to take a look at and see if there was anything that I wanted to change or modify. So there was only one script that I was kind of curious as to what other stories there were out there. It was specifically for more of a psychological kind of narration that had to do with mental illness. So it was like a scientific, but also kind of mysterious, very interested tone. So I was looking for different real life examples of interesting psychological phenomena. Once we finalized the script, then I took about another month to familiarize myself with the scripts, really hone in on different tones to make sure that I was displaying a totally different tone with every single read that I did. And then I had one last session with my coach to go over each of these scripts as well. Then recording day finally came, and I wanted to make sure that I was very relaxed, that I wasn't nervous. And I just did things to kind of keep me, out of my head, more into my body, and kind of in the moment. So I do a little, I work out of a little calligraphy workbook, and I do some stretches, I do some breathing. I make sure that I don't exhaust myself with too many recordings that morning, and I just want to make sure that I'm fresh when I sit down for the session. And it was a great session. He was really easy to work with. I feel like our creative styles meshed really well, and we really massaged out each of these scripts. We looked for many different takes and tones that we could go with, different intentions and different inflections in various areas. So he had plenty of material to work with whenever he goes to produce the demo. A couple weeks later, we got the first draft of all of the spots. So he sent them all individually with some mastering, sound effects, and music, and gave us an idea of the order that he was thinking about putting them in. And luckily, I had such an incredible coach, and he was very hands-on and involved for the entire process. So he and I kind of touched base with each other, talked about what spots I would want to put first, what areas and different spots contrasted really well with each other on, and got back to the demo producer with our thoughts about that. A couple weeks later, we had the final demo ready. It's the fiercest culinary competition in the country. Only these cooks can't cook.
And I don't know how to do this.
The final two cooks will slice and dice their way to winning $25,000 on Worst Cooks in America. A quaint, peaceful community shaken by the tragic murder of Alex Jackson.
Part of my soul, my heart had been ripped out. I couldn't believe that this was happening.
As authorities search for a suspect, the ensuing investigation leads to a stunning betrayal. Hailing from Barranquilla, Colombia, Shakira's journey to worldwide fame didn't come easy. It wasn't until she released Pies de Calzos that she gained popularity, due in large part to the hit single Estoy Aquí. This unique case of multiple personality disorder involves a patient with substance use disorder with 7 personalities. Doctors determine the patient exhibits a new personality when she is under the influence of drugs. What doctors don't know is if this is only due to marijuana and cocaine, or can be due to any drug use. Meet Remy, the rascally raccoon. He lives mainly in North America, with over 5 million other family members and friends. And while this furry little trash bandit is about the size of a large cat, he's actually more related to bears. Well, minus the roar. The most wondrous and perhaps most perilous raccoon church in northern Ethiopia is Abuna Yamata Ga. Perched 650 feet above a steep cliff, some say its chosen location allows worshippers to be closer to heavenly spirits. And now that that journey is over, I'm no longer working with the coach because he's a narration coach, and I really respect that he's not just trying to keep students on his schedule forever. He's ready to let you fly when you're ready to fly. And the next step is to start circulating my demo to try to book narration jobs.